Hey guys, it's me, Made Up Jen, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna go ahead and work with some new acrylic. This is from the brand Saviland. I don't know if I'm butchering that right. I did post a video of this last nail video with this same brand but with a different color scheme. This is the Champagne Trio, so I am using the number 10. There's a color right next to that swatch. I bought another like little mini sample of it, and the color was supposed to be like a rosy brown that just looks like dookie, so so I obviously did not use it, but I am using this color number 10 from the Champagne Trio, and honestly I think it worked pretty well. It moved nice and well. The only problem that I am going to have with this, I don't know if it's just because of my brush or my monomer, but it comes out thick. As much liquid as you can use, it doesn't blend the way you would want it to, but it still moves, it still does what it needs to do. Obviously you guys see I'm blending it, it's coming out fine, but a lot of it is left over and then it gets really like tacky and sticky, but you know, it is what it is. I honestly feel like this might be like the acrylic you might want to use when you're just starting. It's inexpensive, it's a little rough around the edges, but it is good enough to, you know, for you to get a good set at least from it. But I am using my number 12 KADS brush in case anyone was wondering, and I am also using my YN monomer. I will link everything I use down below, by the way, which should only be like 3 products, maybe more. And in case anyone's wondering, I am using the leftover, you know, from the edge of it when I blend it out. You know how usually you'll have some leftover. Usually you can just like take it off and put it on your napkin and just like be rid of it, but I wanted to see what I could do with it because I felt like I was adding a pretty big bead and it just was not staying. Like I was softly blended down and a lot of it would still come down, and I was just like, I am not going to be wasting so much of this acrylic every time I apply it. I try to apply it with less liquid, but you know, it still gave me the same result. I still wasted as much acrylic, so every time I would have any leftover with that little bead that you guys see me grab, I grab it and then I put it back onto the nail. And obviously my brush is a little bit more wet, my brush is a little bit more dry, so I'll just clean my brush and then dip back into the monomer and release some of the liquid and then try to blend out that bead again into the nail, because I'm trying to pretty much not waste so much of the acrylic is what I'm trying to do. Which I know you probably can keep going with it, you can add another bead, but I just wanted to see if whatever was left over I could keep using it on top without having to keep dipping back into the jar. And as you guys see, I am just cleaning around. At some point it kind of starts getting like, it starts drying down, and I'm just using the body of my brush to press down on the acrylic to start pushing that bead down so that it doesn't look bulky. And right now I'm just cleaning under the nail, and if anything else pops up I'm gonna go ahead and hop back on here, but for now I'm just gonna let you guys watch me struggle and apply this set. By the way, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I am cleaning around the cuticle a lot, and it does look like I'm applying a lot of pressure, and honestly I am. At some point, I don't know if it's just this brand of acrylic, but as you're applying it and it starts kind of like drying down, like it dries down super hard, like so fast, but it's still not dry. Like, I don't know if anyone understands what I mean, but you guys see it, it still looks like it's not dried down. And I'm trying to like clean around and move some of the acrylic, like clean around the cuticle, and it is just not moving. So I had to like go with the tip of my brush and push down, and also I had to start really pressing the body of my brush down into the nail to kind of like move the acrylic where I wanted it to go. And then also I was also using the body of the brush to flatten out the surface so that it could be nice and even. You guys are gonna notice I'm like cleaning around a lot because at some point it looked like it wasn't just cleaning, but it was. Excuse me. And by the way, my thumb was real time. I made sure to show you guys exactly how it is when I'm applying my thumb application. The rest I'm gonna speed through a little bit, you know, same old, but I am going to apply the number 10 shade on my thumb, my pointing finger, and my pinky. Also, I forgot to mention this, but I actually applied one big bead and I spread it all the way down, and then I go back in with another bead closer to the cuticle area, and then I start kind of, you know, pushing it into the cuticle, trying to get the right cuticle application, not flooding my actual cuticle. And then I start blending it down. If I'm missing certain spots, I go back in with little beads. Just make sure when you are applying acrylic, you go side to side, because if you're looking at it flat, it's always gonna look fine, but when you turn your finger just slightly a little bit, you'll see a dent, you'll see a bump, you'll see something that just doesn't look smooth, it doesn't look even. So you have to go back in there and apply a little bit more of the acrylic, as you guys see me applying here. I actually go in with all of these just like you guys see it, and then I actually do go back in once they're dried down and apply another bead to kind of thicken it a little bit more, because I don't know if you guys noticed my thumb, but it's pretty flat, but the acrylic is pretty opaque. So it's kind of like you can go ahead and leave it like this and just apply a thick-ish clear acrylic over it and then just file down. I tend to apply it somewhat smooth, and then I don't think it looks smooth, and then I start buffering it, and then I apply that clear acrylic over it. Also, you want to avoid filing down just the color when you are done, because you don't want to remove the color and then it looks patchy, because that's usually what it looks like after. You'll start filing just the color of it, and then some of the application, if you didn't do it smooth enough and you had to fill in certain places, as you're filing, it will become noticeable. Especially with this acrylic, if you're filing down and the next thing you know, let's just say you missed one spot and then you filled it in later, but then you file it and you're filing it down, it'll look like a little weird line, like it was cut. So you have to be very careful with how you're filing. So this is why I always apply a clear acrylic base over it to help with that. But enough of my rambling. I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys just keep on watching. Once I am done with all 3 of these fingers, I'm going to go in with this little mini white acrylic from the same brand, Saviland. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I'm going to keep pronouncing it that way. But I go in with that white because I wanted to try the white. I do have the Young Nails Speed White that came in my collection from my first nail video that I posted a year ago. And when it's hot, that Speed White it dries down so fast. Like, I cannot use it during the summertime. So I was actually kind of glad that this white was included in the little mini set. This mini set comes with like 10 different acrylic colors, so it's like a sample. So the only bad thing about it is that I can't like actually order those colors individually. They don't sell them in bigger packaging, they just sell them in the mini. But if you guys are watching this, I hope you guys, well, Saviland, sorry I'm butchering it, but I hope that you guys do come out with a little bit different, bigger sizes of your minis, because like this white is like white, and you guys see it, I'm only using a little bit of it. And what I'm doing is I'm just going in with the white first, and I'm just like, you know, randomly putting it on. Yes, there are some parts that look patchy-ish, but I did that on purpose because right after I like what the white looks like, I'm gonna go back in with that number 10 color from the Champagne Trio, and I'm just gonna like try to blend it in there and see what I can do with it, and slowly just add a little bit here, a little bit there, and then if it looks too much of that brown, I'll go back in with the white until I am satisfied with the way it looks. You're gonna see me go back and forth a lot through this whole process. It's because at some point I add a little bit too much of one color, and then I add a little bit too much of the other color, and then I end up just mixing both and just saying screw it and just blend and going all crazy with it, because I was just like, we're gonna figure it out. It's gonna look the way I want it to look. The one thing I do recommend also when you are doing any type of marble like this is that you want to make sure all the cuticle area is filled with some type of color, because when I encapsulate this after, there are parts where I'm missing color and it looks like I didn't apply anything on there, even though there's clear acrylic on there. And once I am satisfied with how it looks, I'm gonna go in with this Saviland acrylic. This is the number 12. It is still part of the champagne trio, by the way. So let's just say you don't use the other two colors. This glitter right here, look at it. Look at that glitter. It is so amazing. I actually did use this glitter for my wedding nails. I will post that up later. It's a work in progress. I'm gonna post up my makeup video first, and then I will post up my nail video for the day of my wedding. It was all white. I used pretty much just the white and this glitter that you guys see me using to top it off, and it came out amazing. And once I am done with all my nails, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the Mia Secret clear acrylic powder. This isn't as clear as you would want it to be, but honestly, during the heat time, this is your best bet, because I also have the Speed Clear that came in my YN set, and again, same problem that I mentioned with the Speed White. It dries down so fast. I couldn't use it, like I just could not use it. So I had to go in with the Mia Secret. This one does set a little bit slower, even though it's like 80 degrees, 90 degrees in your room. It still dries down fast-ish, but it doesn't dry as fast as the Speed Clear from the YN set. But all I'm doing right now is just, I'm going to go ahead and encapsulate all of my nails. I'm gonna go ahead and put a pretty thick-ish coat of the clear acrylic on top to pretty much just finish off this nail set and for it to be ready to file and top coat. And I do apologize that it's not focusing on my middle finger and my ring finger that much. I didn't notice that it wasn't focusing, and it didn't help that those two lids on the left side were there, because that's where the camera was focusing the most of its attention to. At some point it does focus back onto my fingers, but you know, by then you missed like half of the process. So I apologize. I was gonna take this out, but I figured, why would I take it out? You guys need to see the full experience of how it was when I was doing my nails, so I'm gonna show you guys, even though it's a little blurry. So sorry, I apologize. I promise for my next video this didn't happen. It just literally happened until this point, so sorry. Once they are done, I'm gonna go ahead and file off camera, and you guys are gonna see me just clean up my desk a little bit. Don't forget to clean up your area, because a lot of the time you won't even see it, but dust will be there and it will touch you, and next thing you know, it's all over your nail and your top coat. So I'm taking out my UV light, and I'm going to use the BEETLES Top It Off top coat. I actually stopped using this. I do have another top coat that I am trying out, and I actually do like better than this one, but this one, you know, it worked its magic for as long as it did. The problem with this top coat, now that I've obviously used a different one, is it will stay shiny for like 2 days, and by the 3rd day it just looks dull already. It doesn't look shiny anymore. So that was my main problem with this, but I did use this top coat for a full year, so don't think that it doesn't work either. The problem with this is, like I said, it just doesn't stay shiny very long. So all I'm gonna do right now is just apply top coat to all of my nails. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the UV light for about a minute. I usually don't go longer than a minute with my UV light. The only time I will go at least like 2 minutes is if I'm using actual gel polish. For some weird reason, gel polish, I have to like cure it for more than a minute, at least 2 minutes every time I do one coat. And then the second coat, I push it to 2.5 minutes just because of the gel polish. I don't know if that's just me. Me and gel polish just don't really get along. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off, and once I am done, I am going to apply some cuticle oil. I'm gonna use the Young Nails Rose Oil Cuticle Oil and pretty much rub it all over my fingers just to make sure my cuticles are nice and moisturized so that I won't have any dryness. And these are the finished nails. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the struggle, but also a good acrylic system. If you guys are interested, I will link everything down below. If you guys like this video, please make sure to like, and if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe. I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.